Years ago, before I ever even touched a guitar, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and suddenly he's like, "Oh man, I totally forgot. My friends are coming over to jam in like 10 minutes. And I decided to stick around, to see what a jam session was all about. And long story short, I watched these guys jam, and that inspired me to pick up guitar because it just seemed like such an awesome and fun thing to do. Now, I know what you're probably thinking right now, that you have to be really good at guitar, know a ton of songs, a ton of chords, techniques, scales, and then after you master all that stuff, you'll finally be ready to jam. But I have to say, that is completely wrong. All you need is a handful of basic chord shapes, things that take like 2 fingers, a simple scale shape that's like a chord shape, but you're playing the notes one at a time, and one critical piece of knowledge. And I'm going to share that all with you today. Really quick before we get started, I have a free ebook for lead guitar that has a ton of useful information and exercises for you. It's completely free. I'll put a link in the corner for that. Anyway, to jam with other people, there's 2 basic rules: rhythm and lead. For rhythm, you should learn the 12-bar blues. I personally don't listen to a ton of blues music. I appreciate it. I enjoy listening to it sometimes, but I enjoy listening more to blues-inspired music like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Eagles, so on. But here's the thing. When you show up somewhere and you want to play music with other people, everybody knows how to play the blues. Some people will know how to play a couple Zeppelin tunes or whatever, but every single person you come across will know how to play the blues in the key of A and E, possibly C, G, D. So you need to go to my website. I have chord charts completely free, and they'll show you the chord order for the blues in A and E. Those are the 2 most common keys that I guarantee you everybody's going to know. I'm not trying to make you buy anything. This is all free. I just want you to have the perfect jamming experience. So grab those sheets off my page after the lesson. Anyways, you practice that up. You can strum the songs using basic, and it's just the same 12 bars over and over again. So it's really easy to memorize it. And, you add whatever strumming pattern you like and bam, you're done. I have a lesson that shows you how to do that all step by step, by the way. It's in the same place as those chord sheets. So you'll find that after. And people love it when you play rhythm because they get to take a solo while you're playing rhythm. And honestly, taking a solo feels awesome. But eventually, it's going to be time for you to take your solo. That's how jamming works. You take turns being the lead or doing the rhythm part. And in order to do that, I know that a lot of people get hung up on this. They spend all this time learning a ton of scales, myself included. I learned like literally 15 or 16 different scales in all these different ways, and I still couldn't play a solo. Because the truth is, it's not about how much, it's about what you do with it, All you need is this little grid. It's like tic-tac-toe. I would call this the 3x3 box, and it's so simple. This is what it looks like. It's just part of the minor pentatonic scale, but you don't even need to know that. All you need to know is my index finger or my first finger is lining up with whatever note on the thickest string that's the key we're in. So if the key is A is the 5th fret, and I have this on that same page, by the way. I got your back. But A is at the 5th fret, and then you can just play the box just above that on the A string, 5, 7, then 5, 7, 5, 7. G is the 3rd fret, so we're just underneath G. 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. For E, it's open, 2, open, 2, open, 2. And you just take that and you experiment with it. And I have a backing track for you, once again, on that same page. I want you to experiment with using the 3x3 box in the key of A, and just... you just play around with it. You get better over time the more you do it. But I do have a shortcut to take that and make it sound a lot cooler pretty much right away. We'll take our 3x3 box and add one key ingredient that a lot of people gloss over, and that is to add a rhythm. People will tell me that their soloing sounds bland or like a run-on sentence. you know, and they just kind of keep going. And to correct that, it's really simple. You just have to add some rhythm to it. And you don't have to have rhythm. You need to learn a specific rhythm. The first one goes. It's just 2 hits.
Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
We're playing beat 1 and then the and after 2. 1 and 2 and. You know, and when you do that a bunch, using those notes, you know, and it sounds pretty cool. It sounds rhythmic, right? So it takes a little bit of getting used to. I just count slowly at 1 and 2 and, just doing it on a single note. Get that backing track, and then you just keep going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and you change notes. There's a bit more of a method to this. I actually go over it in a course that I just released. We'll talk more about that later. Anyways, the other rhythm goes. So there I'm playing and 1 and 2 all in a row. But notice I'm starting on an offbeat, and that's what makes it sound really cool. So once again, you just load up the track 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, you know? And you definitely have to take your time practicing these, but you can also use them with chords, right? I pretty much exclusively used those, and it made a pretty cool sound just for like 2 simple rhythms, right? And just by adding that, all of a sudden, sounds like you know what you're doing. You know, it literally doesn't matter what notes you're playing when you're soloing, you know, it's gonna sound good. I pretty much guarantee it. All in all, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. And the sooner you try to play with other people, the sooner you're gonna realize what exactly you need to learn in order to get better at it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy learning guitar with me. And while you're down there, you might notice a link to my latest course. It's all about learning how to play the blues. Not only the kind of stuff that we're doing today, but also learning some really impressive pieces that you can perform. And I feel that it's a really unique course because it doesn't just teach you how to play things note by note. It teaches you why we play those things, how you can take all those cool bits and use them in your own way. You know, it teaches you how to take a tiny little bit, like a couple notes, and how to turn it into a really impressive solo or a really impressive finger style piece, you know, and I'll just put a link to that in the corner if you're interested in learning the blues and learning, you know, just about guitar in general. I'd really recommend that you check it out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Leave a comment whether you have a question or if you just want to say hi. Have fun practicing, and I'll see you soon.